In this video, I'm going to talk about stop being fake. And what I mean by that is stop lying to yourself, stop lying to the people around you, stop lying to the world. You got to be true to yourself and keep it real at all times. This is the only way you can actually get ahead in life, is when you accept everything that you are, accept everything that's around you, and keep it moving. Now, when I say being fake, the first thing that comes to mind is stop being fake to yourself. Stop lying to yourself. I've had that situation before. And when someone is lying to themselves, what you're trying to do is sweep whatever you're going through under the rug. And that's not a great thing, because you actually lose perception of who you are. A person could try to hype themselves up. And I've done this myself. Growing up, being a younger guy, when you're trying to hype yourself, part of it comes off like it's bragging, even though you haven't attained anything. And I've done this before, but I've achieved as well. You know, I've been able to get my bachelor's and my master's degrees, become a leader in an organization. And one of the things that I had trouble with is keeping it real of how much I was struggling in that job. I had a team of 80 direct reports. I would schedule 1,000 shifts a month. And I would try to act like I had it under control when I didn't know how to ask for help, because I thought I was a Superman. Now, that set me up to not be as effective as what I could have been. If I was real about what I was going through, maybe I could have had more help. Maybe I could have done a better job. I ended up getting fired from the position, and then I left to go to a different clinic. Now, after I left, I found out they brought in 4 people to replace all of my responsibilities. So it definitely meant I was overwhelmed. I was definitely burned out. And my managers, the JOB, they didn't really give a shit. They just wanted the work to be executed, all right? But seeing how it played out, me trying to act like I had it all together, I put so much work on myself that I crumbled, put so much weight on my back that it all fell apart. So the biggest thing for me through that situation was to learn that I have to keep it real to myself. I was looking at who I thought I was and then who I thought I could be. And it ended up being probably one of the worst experiences ever. It wasn't a win. At the end of the day, it became a failure on both sides. It was a lose situation, because even though I could do the work, it just ended up not being sustainable for how I was or who I am. Having a 24-hour schedule was probably the roughest thing. So I got sick calls every night, especially when it's a big team. There's always going to be sick calls. And so that just really took its toll on me. I didn't know how to ask for help. That's one of the things when you're lying to yourself and you're not keeping it real, you actually do more harm to yourself and to the people around you, because you're not effective. You're not being real with what's going around you. And so one of the things is just keep it real. If it's too much to take on, be real about it. If that's not what you're about, be real about it. Now that I'm turning 40, how I choose to live my life and build the work and the purpose I want to do in life, it's very important to me to have peace of mind and constant growth. Now, those two things together are really difficult to achieve, but it's still a possibility if you know how to balance them both. If you're type A driven all the time and then you act like you have it all together on the personal side, then your personal side is going to suffer. If it's all focused on the personal side with no growth on the professional side, then the professional side is going to suffer. And so for me to have peace of mind while growth, it's going to consistently force me to figure out how to balance what's more important in that moment and to be conscientious of how I need to balance and allocate my time. That's one of the things I learned to figure out from keeping it real myself and stop lying to myself and taking off the mask of being this put together, have it all together, have it all seamless as a man. Another reason why it's important to stop being fake is because you're not going to have a clear sense of what's really going around you. When you're not keeping it real, you're going to be focused on what's right in front of you, and you're not going to see all these other factors that's around it too. It's important to look at a situation globally, holistically, and get a great sense of everything that's going around it. And one of the things I learned when I'm just trying to maintain a particular image, you're focused on yourself. You become a little bit more egotistical. You become a little bit more disregarding of other people's perspectives. But the thing is, if you want to grow your business, if you want to have a great family life, a great personal life, great friendships and relationships, you have to focus on other people. The root of life is people, community, society. If you're too focused on yourself and you don't have a good grasp of reality around you, you'll never get to the understanding of people in general. And it becomes a challenge to grow. Why is that? Because when people see that you're fake, they're gonna naturally avoid you. They're gonna know after a certain amount of time, okay, I'm enough with this situation, I'm gonna leave and bounce out on it, because it's not a sustainable situation. It's not a good, healthy situation that I wanna be as a person. I've had these experiences with managers where they're totally numbers driven, spreadsheet driven, and they never considered the people around them. They said they did, but they didn't. You could tell by the way they operate and they make the decisions, it's only based on numbers. And that becomes a detriment, because what ends up happening is you're not gonna build a loyal staff or a loyal team or a loyal group around you. Loyalty is built on respecting other people and acknowledging them. You don't have to see eye to eye, but you have to acknowledge it and be able to have those tough conversations. Now, when it comes to having the grasp on the reality, it can't be solely on just you. You got to balance it out away from other people, other different perspectives. It gives you a global picture. It's a challenge to do that, because when someone's focused on themselves and what they want to do in life, then how do you not let certain things affect you and influence the way you decide? Because it's easy to be manipulated, keep it real. It's also an influence to be bait and switch. I've had that before. I'm currently going through that and dealing with that situation. And it's not a good feeling. When you're looking at the world, it's a way to get feedback, to get data, to get information. Okay, what's really going on? What's really working? Now, for me to drop the mask and say, oh, I know what I'm doing in business, and I was like, I don't need no help. I don't really give a shit of other people's perspectives, and I'm not gonna give a fuck. Yes, to a certain extent, that's true, but at the same time, I gotta take that feedback and figure out what's right for me. One of the situations I had was where I left the job to go start a business, and then after I left the business, someone is trying to think they could control me. I'm not leaving a career to go hire another manager for myself. So I'm keeping it real with myself. Damn, I fucked up, right? How am I gonna adjust to that? Keeping it real for me and dropping the mask means, okay, I gotta exit this business now. Even though I have other businesses, but now it's okay, this is not the opportunity, because it doesn't match the two things I wanna do. It matches the growth. There's a lot of growth and stability in it, yes, but it's at the cost of peace of mind. And so, is this really worth it for me? No, because it doesn't fulfill the two things that I require for me to be a real person in terms of what I want in life. Now, another thing when it comes to keeping up facades and masks and trying to hide the truth is you're actually setting up yourself for failure. Because it's like being a magician, bait and switch, you're showing this, but then behind the closed curtains, things are falling apart. Or things may look ugly on the outside to other people, but then you have everything all good on the other side, which is a good thing to have. But you can do more help, make more impact, be more useful if people know you for a certain thing. Just be real about it. You just got to use your discernment to filter out the people that's right for you and the people that's not right for you. And the best way to do that is just being you, being yourself. One of the things I realized is that the more I become myself, the more people gravitate towards me. And I realize now, damn, I'm just people's vibes. Sometimes I'm not their vibe, and I'm cool with that. It doesn't matter. But you have to just be real, because then you're gonna find the people that are truly about you. You don't have to impress everyone. You don't even have to impress anyone, but you do have to impress yourself. One of the things that comes to mind when it's put in up front is most people actually see through it already. You're probably seeing through, and maybe one of the masks and the facades I have right now, trying to just tell you about my experiences. But my attempt is not to put up a front. I'm just trying to be real and just share some of my experiences. But for the most part, people see through it. Have you gone to an event where someone is just acting a certain way, trying to hype themselves up, and they're like, why are you acting? That's one of the things I grew up telling people. It's like, why are you acting? I'm gonna nominate you for a Grammy or a Golden Globe or Academy Award. Stop acting, stop fronting. You don't have to lie to kick it. That's one of the things my friends, when we grew up in the 90s, we used to tell people, like, you don't have to lie to kick it, just be yourself. We accept you for who you are. And what's great is that built a lot of great relationships for me. I had the same friend circle for the past 20, 25 years. Nothing's changed, nothing new. We stay connected to each other. Even though people moved out and moved to different areas, we're still connected. We're still talking together, meeting up with each other, talking regularly, having a great time. It's essentially a family. And so when you're real about what's going on in your life and who you are, the people that are for you stay by your side. You build real loyalty. You're not gonna get the loyalty from the work. You're not gonna get loyalty from people around you, but the truth is, keeping it real finds your tribe. You find the people that are around you, but most importantly, you find out what you're meant to do, what you wanna do, and you actually discover who you are. So with that, I'll check you out later. Be easy.